This is Metal Mike, and in this episode of the 80's Glam Metalcast, we talk to a guitar legend, Punky Meadows from the band Angel. We talk in great detail about their most recent release, Risen. We reminisce about some classic Angel songs and albums, and of course, Gene Simmons and Kiss come up. We've even created custom Kiss makeup for Punky that we'll put on the screen a little later on. Check it out. Well, Punky, welcome to the 80's Glam Metalcast. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, Mike. How about you? Everything cool out there? Keeping it nice and cool in these hot, sunny days of summer?
Oh, yeah, man. Got to stay in with that AC for sure. Well, because of COVID-19, I know artists have a lot of downtime. What have you been doing with all your time?
Well, we just signed a new management deal and a booking agent deal with a big management company, R&R Management. I'm sure you know they are, Ryan Jones, yes, and Ron Rainey. And so we've been working on that, getting a lot of stuff together. Putting up a new merchandise store and stuff like that, and booking some concerts. Of course, everything was canceled because of COVID. We just come off the Legends of Rock cruise in February, and that was great. And then we were going to go to Japan in April, and of course everything was pushed back because of that, of the virus. And so we're going to start touring again in the fall, starting in September. And I've been writing a lot of songs, doing a lot of songwriting and that sort of thing, and making a lot of plans, between management and the booking agent, that sort of thing. And so been keeping busy, and of course, busy with most stuff around the house. There's always something to do on the lower 40, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, just keeping busy, doing my thing, playing guitar a lot, and writing a lot of songs. Got a lot of really cool songs for the next album. So, and my partner Danny is writing too, and so is Frank. So, we'll get together sometime soon, and put these songs and finishing touches on all these songs. But I'm having a good time.
Awesome.
And it's kind of in a way, of course, it's been a drag to have this downtime, but in one sense, it's been kind of good for us because we've been able to organize a lot of things now that we need to do. But being on the road, you don't have time to do that. So with new management and booking agent, we're able to organize a lot of things like that. So it's actually been kind of a good thing too. I'm trying to look at it in a positive sense too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to. So basically what you're saying is that in the future we can't expect another Angel album.
Oh, yes, definitely, yes. We're working on, like I said, I've always been writing. I'm pretty prolific songwriter. I mean, I never stopped writing, but I've been writing a lot of really cool songs for this next Angel album, so I'm really excited. I can't wait to get in the studio. I'd love to record because it's when you get to go in there and be really creative, and do your thing and stuff, so I'm looking forward to getting back in the studio, of course.
Well, speaking of new music, man, I can tell you there's a lot of classic bands that I like that can't pull off the new material very well, but that ain't you guys, man. I love Risen. That's a great album.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very proud of that album. Of course, it was the comeback Angel for our album, so we had to make sure that it was going to live up to that, and it did. People love it, and I think it's a great album too. I don't just say that because it's Angel or it's me, but I really like this album, and I also like my Punky Meadows solo album too. This is probably my two favorite albums. I mean, I play the Risen album all the time, not because it's Angel or me. It's because I just like the album. Like when I'm going to work out, I just pop that thing on and I get a great workout. I mean, the album has got a lot of great songs on it, and it's diversified, and it has a classic Angel sound, but yet it has a modern sound to it as well. A lot of people say that, a lot of these bands, when they make comebacks, they're kind of a shadow of themselves.
Yeah.
They don't have it, but the Risen Angel that sounds better, as good if not better than the early Angel stuff. It's got a lot of spunk to it, and it's heavy, yet it's melodic. I mean, they're really good songs. I mean, all these songs are singable and good hook, but yet they're still heavy and they kick ass. And so. We're very proud of it. It's gotten great reviews everywhere. It's charted on the Billboard charts too. So we're excited about it. We're having a good time. Now I just can't wait to get to do some more. It's funny because even on my solo album, I had 15 songs on that, and that was too many. But I said let's just give them all we have because I just want people to hear everything. And the same with the Angel album. There's 17 songs on there, and And so they made it a double album, a gatefold actually, but they said, well, we should just put maybe 10 songs on and then have another album. And I said, no, let's give them everything we got, because I want people to hear everything we do, and we're going to have the same problem with this next Angel album, because I'm writing so many songs, and so is Danny, and then we'll put our 2 cents in for those songs, and of course, we'll have a bunch more songs to do too, but it's just fun creating, it's nothing like it, it's when you write a song and because I'll come up with the riff, or maybe come up with a melody line or something. I'm sitting on the couch watching TV or something. I have a tape recorder next to me, and I'll put it down, and then I'll play it over and over and over again. And I keep playing, the song just grows and grows and grows and gets better and better and better. And then before you know it, I just get so excited because I hear all the bass parts, I hear all the keyboard parts, I hear all the vocal parts and everything else, and so it's very exciting. It's kind of like painting a picture, I guess. You have this blank canvas, and you keep adding layers and layers and layers to it, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. So I'm excited to get back in the studio again, and I'm glad everybody loves the Risen album. It is a really good album, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, and you guys, like you said, you really haven't missed a beat. I mean, you got great riffs, great solos, and Frank's voice, I mean, just amazing. After all these years, to still be able to sing like that is amazing.
Yeah, Frank is something of an anomaly. I mean, a lot of these cats, when they get to be a certain age, no disrespect, but Robert Plant can't hit those notes anymore. A lot of these singers can't do that anymore. Frank can. Frank's like superhuman or something. I don't know what it is with him, but he's got a great voice. When we first put Angel together, it was Greg and Mickey and myself, up in this loft above this nightclub called Bogies in Washington D.C. and we were looking for a singer, and as soon as I heard Frank's voice, it was like this siren. I said, "Holy shit, this is the guy!" And so he came in and sat in with us while we were writing songs, and we said, "This is the guy," because his voice was it was unique. At the same time, he had his own sound, but he could really hit the notes, and he's an amazing singer, and again, a good person too. Good guy, which is half the battle too. That's what's so nice about this band now, the New Angels. All the guys in the band, they're all great players, but they're also great people too. And there's not a bunch of egos flying around. Everybody's, they're just great people too, which is half the battle right there. So we're having a great time.
What are some of your favorites on that album, if you had to pick a couple?
It's hard, it's hard because every song to me has its own personality. You know what I mean? It's like trying to pick your favorite child or something. It's kind of difficult. I mean, there's certain things I like about certain parts of songs that I like a lot, and that's really hard to say. It really is, because the thing is, I'll put the first song on, and I love that fucking song. It sounds great. And then the second song will come on, like, oh my God, that sounds great too. And then the third, every time it comes on, I go, that's a great song too, and because every song just gets me pumped, you know what I mean? It's hard to say, they're just they're all just really good songs. And the thing is, they're all different. That's why I think, there are some solos that I like better in some songs, but not because they are better. It's just, they're kind of, it just hits me in a certain way or something, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I do. I dig the diversity on there, because I like, obviously the rockin' tracks like We Were the Wild and Shot of Your Love. Those are awesome. But then I like the poppy stuff too, like Turn Around and Tell Me Why. I love those kind of songs too.
I love Tell Me Why. Tell Me Why is a great song. It's funny because that, to me, I'm a player that, I grew up playing, and I used to be in house bands. I played in one club for 3 years straight. And we would play original stuff, but we also had to play Motown, country, the British Explosion, heavy metal, and we had to play everything. And I loved in country. I loved playing all that type of music, So, I'm the kind of guy that loves ABBA, but also loves Zeppelin. You know what I mean? So, it kind of goes in my favor actually. So, I've always loved the Beatles, and that sort of thing. I love power pop, and Tell Me Why is just a pure essence of power pop. The song fits together just so perfectly as a power pop song. And it's kind of in the vein of the Beatles in a way or something, I love those great hooks and the melody lines like that, and just how you'll have a verse and a chorus, and then you have a bridge, and they're all kind of just goes together just effortlessly or something. It just seems to be right as rain, and it's a fun song. Even though the song is a song about cheating on somebody, it sounds so up, you know what I mean, and happy, and it makes you just want to sing along with it. It's so memorable, you know. And in fact, one of the big websites, rock websites, they picked that as their number 3 favorite song of the year. Was "Tell Me Why." Well, I thought that was really neat. It's really cool.
Now, like past members like Felix Robinson and Barry Brandt, are these guys like retired? What's going on with these guys?
With Greg and Barry?
Well, I know Greg does. He's like in the casino gaming. But how about like Felix and Barry? What are they up to?
I don't talk to Barry that much, but Frank does. You know, they still stay in touch. Mm-hmm. But Barry's had some health issues, you know, and he just, I guess he doesn't. I mean, he talks about wanting to play, but he doesn't really want to do it. Whenever we would play out in L.A. at the Whiskey or whatever, we obviously the right period come out, and he said he was going to come in. He would never show up. I don't know. I guess he's just. I guess it's just behind him. I'm not sure, but he's a great drummer, you know, and he's actually a pretty good guitar player too, really? And a good songwriter. But I don't really talk to him that much, but Frank always said Barry just doesn't want to do anything anymore, so whatever, I guess, you know, that's just for all. Of course, we all know Greg made a bunch of money in the slot machine business, you know, and then Felix, of course, he was on my solo album, my Punky Meadows solo album, which was great. He's a great player, too. But Felix just had some health issues, too, a couple of years ago, some heart issues, and, of course, since then he's got that all repaired and stuff, but, you know, so he's just, I don't really know what he's doing that much, to tell you the truth. We kind of lost touch, too, after my solo album. But the guys in the band now are really great, you know, and they're a good addition, you know. And so, you know, we're happy with that right now. So this is the new Angel. So
definitely, man, it's killing it. You guys are killing it. Now, I'm going to make you try to pick one of your children again. So if you go back and you listen to the classic '70s Angel albums, what's your favorite? What are some of your favorites out of the catalog?
Oh gosh, there's so many. That's really hard. I mean, you know, it's funny, of course, The Tower, because that was the very first song that Greg and I wrote together, you know, the very first song that I brought forth to Greg when we first got together. So The Tower, of course, you know, would be one of my favorites because, you know, that's iconic to all the Angel fans. I mean, that's, you know, that's the Angels song, I guess. And I like a lot of stuff from the first and second album, the progressive stuff, you know, the heavier stuff, the Fortune and stuff like that. And there's a lot of great stuff in there. But I also love Sinful and White Hot, you know, because like I said, I'm a kind of a power pop lover too, you know what I mean? So I mean, one of my all-time favorite songs is the Raspberries Go All the Way. Mm-hmm. You know, so I like the stuff off Simple and White Hot too. I mean, it's hard, you know, because I don't know when you write those songs. It's a funny thing though, you know. Back in those days, you know, I would write a song and I have it come out a certain way in my ears, but when it was done, it never sounded like the same song. Right. So sometimes I would be a little disappointed in them sometimes, you know, but the fans loved them, so it doesn't really matter. And I think when we did the Angel Risen and also my solo album, that I produced it all on Danny, and the songs came out the way I envisioned them, heard them, so I was really pleased with that, so I love all that stuff. But back to your question, there's a lot of, I mean, I love playing all those songs, Angel songs live, so it's kind of Feeling Right. It's great to play live and stuff. You know, all these songs are great to play. Wild and Hot is one of my favorite, only because I wrote that about my son Jordan way back then. You know, and that's another really great power pop song. It's just, you know, it's just simple. It's just teenage angst or whatever. You know, I love that song too, and I even like the Rascals' "Ain't Gonna Eat on My Heart Anymore." You know, when we did that, we didn't write it, but I love that song. It's fun to play. It's kind of a post-punk song, I guess, or whatever, but there's just so many songs that it's hard to choose one, you know. I don't think I like one any better than the other one, really, you know. Some stand out a little bit more to me because we play them live, you know. I mean, there's one song called "Broken Dreams" everybody wanted to do, and I didn't want to do it because I never liked that song. But everybody dating all of a sudden they can say, "Oh, it's a great song because the fans will love it," and the fans will love it, you know. And so I said, okay, we'll do it. And then when we did it, I actually love it. Playing it live, and it's a lot of fun. So I think when it's your stuff, you're a little more critical about it. You know what I mean? And then what the fans actually hear it and actually like. So you know, it's difficult to say, but all in all, Angel has a legacy, and our fans for years, they love all this stuff. So, I have to just go along with them, and say, yay, thank you. I'm glad you dig it.
Now, it seems like by the time you guys got to On Earth as It Is in Heaven, it was becoming, the sound was getting a little more straightforward, a little more pop elements. Was that like a natural progression, or was the label saying, hey guys, we got to get a hit? What was going on at that point?
Eddie Kramer produced that album, actually, and Eddie Kramer was, did all of Hendrix and Zeppelin and all that kind of stuff, and Eddie and I became pretty good friends, but, what happened was, when Angel first came out, we didn't want to be a singles band. We wanted to be an album band like Zeppelin was. Zeppelin didn't really have any hit records except Stairway to Heaven, and that was an FM at the time, which was kind of a new format, and early Queen stuff was more album cut stuff like that. And we consider ourselves like Pink Floyd and that sort of thing, an album band, not a singles band. But as time went on, of course, in the 70s picked up, and a lot of these radio stations started playing, like Fleetwood Mac, Peter Frampton, and stuff like that. And so, of course, everybody wanted a hit record, and even Kiss was, tried to get hit records back then too, and they only got it with Death because that was a ballad, But so we were, and also, when we first started putting it together, we were just kind of up and coming songwriters, So as time went on, I became a better songwriter. Really, I started really understanding about, hooks and choruses and verses and things like that, and things that were memorable and that sort of thing. Whereas before, I would just write a kind of a riff that was really cool sounding, and then put vocals to it or whatever, and to try to make it as kind of complicated so it would seem like we were, like Zeppelin, just really progressive, songwriters or whatever. But as time went on, we actually became better songwriters, I think, and so, of course, we were kind of pushing, we needed to hit single and that sort of thing, and so, I would start writing songs that were more commercially oriented, and so, and we kind of headed in that direction. But there's a lot of heavy stuff on Earth, too, that is...
Oh, yeah.
That's very heavy, on there, too. So we never lost that either. We always stayed heavy and true to the Angel sound. But, we were experimenting, and we were also getting better to it and becoming diverse as well. I mean, it was like, and it was also, I didn't want us to put the same album out every time, you know what I mean? Like when the Beatles would come out with the album, you'd hear the album and you'd say, what are we going to do next time? And you would hear it, and it would be totally different from the last album. It was so exciting because they kept changing. And I always said the Angel was not a one-trick pony, and I'm proud of that, because a lot of bands, you put on their first song on the record, and every song pretty much sounds the same after that. I mean, AC/DC is an example of that. Now, I love AC/DC; they're great. Don't get me wrong; that really works for them. But that when you hear the first song, you pretty much hear all the songs. I mean, it's the same thing. Well, with Angel, every song was different. And like I said, we weren't a one-trick pony, and I like that because it was like Queen.
Yes.
For me, back in those days, I looked at my contemporaries, and I would look at Aerosmith, Cheap Trick, and Kiss, and that sort of thing. But Queen was the band that I really liked and admired. I thought they were really great because they were diversified. They weren't a one-trick pony, and I look forward to what they were going to do next, and that kind of raised the bar for me, and I've always been kind of that way. And also because, like I said, my musical genre is very diversified too. I love country music and R&B and Motown and that sort of thing too. So I always like to try to incorporate a little bit of that stuff into my songwriting too, because it's fun. I just like doing all that stuff. So I think as time went along, every Angel album is different from the previous album, and I think that's really good because it keeps it fresh and vital, and doesn't make it sound stale. You know what I mean? And like we can't do anything else. So I'm actually proud of that. So every album was different, and it was kind of by design, I guess, to subliminally, because I didn't want to like the same thing over and over again. I think fun. You want to move on and try to better yourself. It's just human nature to want to jump higher and create more, I guess, or whatever. So I guess that's basically it. We just wanted to do different things, and to this day, and that's the same thing with Prison. And even on my solo album, those songs are very diversified on that album too. So the next Angel album's going to be more diverse too. I'll have a lot of different types of songs on it too. I mean, that's why I like on rhythm. Like, for example, IOU is a complete, so different than any other Angel song on there. It's just a real poppy love song, but it's just a really cool song, you know. And because I don't want people to look at me as just a headbanger. I hate that stuff. I hate when people say, "Man, that's just like somebody will say IOU is just a sappy love song." I said, "Well, listen, I don't want to. I'm not a bonehead. I'm not one of those guys that can only listen to heavy metal and just pound my head up and down. I hate that stuff. I want to be able to write good songs, classic rock songs. You know what I mean? That that means something and say something that tells a story. I don't want to just be considered some death metal rocker. That's just screaming and just playing 1,000 miles an hour on the guitar because." While all that stuff might be impressing, it might impress you, for me, don't impress me, inspire me. And for me, a guitar player like David Gilmour, who will play one note, inspires me, whereas some guy that's playing 1,000 notes, just like, oh, that's impressive, but it doesn't really inspire me. It's just a lesson in manual dexterity for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So for me, playing guitar is all about feeling, tone, and melody, and that sort of thing. And of course, you show off every now and then. Like I can play real fast and shred like anybody else. Listen to We Were the Wild. I mean, it's crazy. So I mean, but to me, guitar players like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jeff Beck, and those kind of cats, David Gilmour, Gary Moore, those are real guitar players there for me. I mean, it's not all the other guys to me are just kind of have a bag of tricks. You know what I mean? They just showing off and stuff, but that's just me, you know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, on the show, Kiss gets mentioned all the time, and I don't want you to have to tell stories that you told a million times, so we'll keep it brief, but we all know that Gene Simmons played a role in getting you guys on Casablanca Records, but Kiss never took you guys out on tour. You want to explain why that never happened?
Yeah, well, the story was we were playing at Bogey's Angel was just put together. Bogey was a nightclub in D.C. We just put the band together, and Kiss had come into town. They were playing at the Capitol Center, I think, in Maryland, and they came down to Bogey's, and Gene and Paul and Ace came there, and they saw Angel and just fell in love with the band. Thought we were great. And Gene came up to me afterwards. I was so cool because I'm like 6'2", but Gene, they were all wearing those platforms. They were like 8 feet tall, and they were looking up and shaking Gene's hand. I thought, that's so fucking cool, But Gene looked at this. He mimicked this thing I did where I hold my arm over my guitar and point to my neck. And he did that move, and he goes, "Punky, classic," So anyway, so we go back to L.A. and we just signed a management deal, and we're shopping a record deal, and our manager says, "Well, there's this new record company called Casablanca. It might be a good idea to check them out because they're a smaller label. They put all of their energies into you, whether you're being on a big label like Capitol, you might get lost in the shuffle, So we said, yeah, well, and they had Kiss and all that sort of thing. And Neil Bogart has Kiss on the label and stuff. And we told them about, the Kiss came and saw us play, and they loved us and stuff. And so David said, our manager said, well, they call Neil Bogart and see if we can set up, an audition or something. And so he calls Neil Bogart up and says, hey, I got this band Angel. We're shopping a deal, and Kiss had seen them. Kiss really liked them a lot. Gene liked them a lot. We'd like to audition for you and see if you'd like to sign the band up. And so Neil Bogart said to David, he said, I tell you what, Kiss is playing in Anaheim in a couple of weeks. I'll have Angel open up for them, and I can see them then and see what I think about them. Let me call you back in about 10 minutes. So he calls back in 10 minutes. He goes, I'll tell you what, I'll sign Angel sight unseen because Gene Simmons says, under no circumstances will Angel ever open up for Kiss. But we actually did play for Neil anyway. We went kind of rehearsed, he came and signed. He fell in love with the band, of course. He signed us up and stuff. And that was the story, Gene, that they just didn't want us to ever play with them. But we never had the opportunity to even offer them anyway. We would be on the road at the same time they were. We would cross paths every now and then. They would come and see us and check us out. We would go see them and stuff. And we were really good friends, all of us on that Casablanca roster. So I love those guys. They're great, and they were a big part of our lives there too, back then. But I said, I guess Casablanca. I guess Kiss did have some kind of interest in getting us signed because Gene liked us so much and they raved about it. So it was cool.
And then another real quick one. We don't have to get into real depth, but Ace leaves Kiss. You try out. Sounds like it's going to happen, but then it kind of falls through. Want to give a brief rundown of what happened with that?
You mean a guitar thing? Playing a guitar for them?
Yeah.
Well, photographer for Casablanca. He did all the photos of Kiss, Angel, Cher, a bunch of people. Great photographer. He was in the recording studio with Gene and Paul, and Barry called me up and he said, "Hey, you heard that Kiss is looking for a guitar player." I said, "I heard something about it, but I don't really know much about it." He said, "Well, I mentioned your name to Gene, and Gene said to me, Punky, that would be a great idea." Barry said, let me get your number and have Gene give you a call." So I gave him my number, and Gene calls me and he goes, "Hey, this is Gene. I'd like you to come down and sit in with us, and because we're looking for a guitar player." He said, "Just learn 5 songs off the Kiss Alive album. It doesn't matter, what songs, any 5 songs. Just learn 5 songs." I said, "Okay, I'll check it out." So I went down to SIR where they were rehearsing, and I walked in. They were playing Communication Breakdown. I lived that one. There was Eric Harwitz on the drums. And I walked in, plugged up, and we played, and it went great. They loved it. It sounded great. Everybody was happy. And so Gene says, "Well, let's talk business. Come on over here." And so we sat on the drum riser, and he said, "Listen, you've got the gig. Let's talk some business." And I said, "Well, Gene, I'm with Greg right now. We're shopping a deal, so I have to talk to Greg about it." And so as soon as I said that, Gene got insulted, I guess. I don't know what, but he just got up and he said, "Come on, Paul, let's go." And they left. They stormed off. And so I was sat there, and the rehearsal space, Eric called for about half an hour, and we talked and stuff. And then I went back home, and Barry Levine calls me up. And he goes, "Punky, what'd you do?" I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, Gene and Paul came back to the city with their jaws to the floor." And Gene said, "No one has ever turned down Kiss." And I said, "What?" I said, "I didn't turn them down. I just didn't say yes right away because I was, I had to talk to Greg about it." He goes, "Well, they just said, he said they were prepared to offer you $200,000 a year plus points." And at the time I was broke, but I said, "Well, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, I didn't say no, but I just, I couldn't just, leave Greg in the lurch like that. I had to let him know." And so that's what happened with that, and that was the end of that. So
I had this idea. I do a lot of crazy fantasy type stuff on my YouTube and on Twitter. I thought if you were to be a Kiss character, I thought the best idea would be to make you the Archangel and have angel wings over your eyes, kind of like Gene had bat wings. And I think that would have been a cool character because it would have tied in the whole angel thing, man. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think that would have been cool, but I don't think Gene would like that because Gene wouldn't want. Well, Gene wouldn't want to have anything with Angel to do with Kiss. I don't think as far as image goes. You know what I mean? I think he'd want to keep it more into the whole black thing and whatever kind of creature, I guess, of some sort. But yeah, I thought of that myself too. I thought it would be really cool. I made kind of a wisecrack about him when we were on the drum riser talking, and I probably should have said that. I thought, "What am I going to be, an elephant?" I was just being silly. But he didn't. The look on his face, he didn't laugh, and I don't think he thought that was too funny. So whatever.
So when you talk about working on demos with Greg, are these demos with Fergie Fredrickson that are out on YouTube? Are they the same ones?
No, that was before. That was actually with Fergie and Ricky Phillips from the Babies and Barry, Greg, and myself. Andy Johns produced that, and that was a great little band. In fact, it's funny you mentioned that because management I'm with now, Ron Rainey, on our management, he managed that band we had back then with Fergie and Greg and Barry and myself and Ricky, and that was a great little some demos on it. It was a great song, and Fergie was a great singer, really great singer. And but what happened with that is, we did the demo, and all the record companies were really excited about it, and so we set up an audition to let them see the band play because they just want to see the band live, and so we had rehearsed and. All these record companies came down on Ron Rainey. All these record companies come down. They all came down. They were all fighting at the bed. And we were ready to go on. And when we go on stage and hit the first note, and for some reason Fergie got stage fright, froze up, and ran off the stage and left.
Wow.
And it was the weirdest thing. I don't know what happened. So we wound up just playing a couple songs of music with no singer, and so I kind of blew the whole thing, you know. And afterwards, we felt sorry for Fergie. We didn't know what happened. He just said he had anxiety. He just froze up, and he just split. I don't know. To this day, I don't know why that happened. I don't think anybody knows. But Ron Rainey and I, we talked about that because, you know, we said that was crazy because Ron had got all those record companies come down, and we made a really great demo, and he just froze up. And of course, that was the end of that whole project after that. So that was kind of odd. But like I said, Fergie was a great singer. You know, God bless him. You know. Ricky was a cool, great bass player, and a good friend, good guy too. So there was a lot of possibilities in that band, but things just, you know, happened the way they happened, and you know, it's history. I'm going to say it'll be a good chapter for my book, though.
Nice, yeah, you got to do that, man. That'd be awesome. So you dropped out of the music scene in the '80s. Did you kind of keep an eye on this whole glam scene that was going on? Because bands like Motley Crue and all these guys, they were definitely borrowing some stuff from Angel. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, in fact, it's funny you say that because when we were actually rehearsing with Fergie and them at SIR, and Motley Crue was down there, and they hadn't had a record deal yet. And Tommy Lee came in, and Vince came in, and I was showing the guys this song, and Tommy Lee started hitting Vince on the shoulder and stuff, real hard, like, hey, man, that's cool as shit, and all that kind of stuff, you know. And then they were actually auditioning for some record companies, too, and I remember Vince Neil came in and asked if I had an extra guitar, because their guitar player, Nick, didn't have a guitar, left his guitar home or something like that, and I didn't have another guitar, so they had to give him somewhere else. But Nikki Sixx was a big fan of Angel, especially a big fan of mine, because we used to go off the same girl, Vicky Frontieri, whose mother was Giorgio Frontieri, who owned the L.A. Rams at the time, you know, and she said that he used to say really great things about me. Nikki did. So yeah, I'm glad. You know, it's a funny thing because after, you know, Angel split up and I left the music business and all that kind of stuff, you know, I just totally forgot about everything. And then when I got on Facebook, I saw all these people coming on and saying how much we influenced them, all these different guitar players and fans, and how much they loved Angel and stuff. And, you know, before social media, I never really knew anything about that, because you'd play in a town, you know, and people would see you and say, oh, you guys are great tonight. Then you would go to the next town, you would never hear from them again. Right. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until social media came out that I saw that how much Angel meant to a lot of people, and it really made me happy, you know what I mean, because I just thought it was just a footnote, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? And so it really pleased me that all these fans really loved Angel, and all these different guitars. Even Andy Timmons, who's a great guitar player, you know, has said to me many times, you know, that I'm part of his musical DNA, and you know, and so that means a lot to me, you know, that all these people were influenced by Angel. I just saw a thing where, what's the guy in Megadeth?
Dave Mustaine?
Yeah. There's a thing, an article that he put on saying that the band Angel influenced him, and he talked about how great the band was. And he mentions my name. He said they had this really great guitar player, Punky Meadows, which I thought was funny because they're so far from Angel. He's wanting that kind of sound. And Marty Friedman also is another big Angel fan, a big Punky Meadows fan too. In fact, when we were going to play in Japan, he emailed me and asked if he could fit in because he was a big Punky fan and an Angel fan too, you know. So that's really neat because I never knew that we inspired people like that. You know what I mean? I just never dawned on me really, you know. So it is nice to hear that kind of stuff.
Well, Punky, what do you want to say to all your fans in closing?
I want to say, hey, all you Angel fans out there, we love you guys, man. Thanks for all the support, and look forward to us coming to your town somewhere and come and see us play. And we're going to be putting a new album out soon. And I love all my Angel fans and everybody out there. So you guys be cool, stay safe, and let's rock and roll.
Well, thanks so much, man. I've loved your music for many years. This was a pleasure speaking with you, and I really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you, Mike. It's my pleasure. I appreciate it, too. You have a great day.
Well, that was a blast talking with Punky. He's got some cool stories. But hey, I need your help. Hit that subscribe button. If I can get to 1,000 subscribers pretty soon and start getting some pennies for my videos, maybe I can buy a gumball or something, right? Well, rock on!